what, I've seen Jack Hewitt run for a lot of years, and I've seen him run a lot of team races down in Australia and New Zealand, and he don't take orders from anybody. He's out there to win this race.
Once again, he rides in the 4th position, car 27. That is the Ford V6.
That is the Ford V6, and once again, it's brand new. Glenn Heibel says he was very conservative with this engine because it was so new. They didn't want to do anything very radical, but even with the conservatism, it seems to be very, very fast.
Well, of course, Glenn Heibel, as a car builder and engine builder, he has found great success with that V6 power plant. They've won the Little 500 so many times with Bob Fry. They've won in Silver Crown competition with Keeker.
There you see Keeker. He tried pretty hard there. As Hewitt got in, he pushed the front end just a little bit, got a little high. Keeker tried to pinch under him, but you can see how much time you lose. When you pinch that car, when you turn a sharp left, try to get under somebody, you lose a lot of time.
Well, as we watch that battle for position, we can tell you Gary Heber is in the pits. Remember, he was right in the thick of everything, and then we saw him fall off the pace, and now there is a look at Dave walking down toward Heber, and Heber from Langhorne, Pennsylvania, the Bucks County International entry. He climbs out, so his day is done. So the attrition rate continues to climb.
It is terminal. Whatever happened, was not a tire problem. It was something that was much, much worse than that. And he's a very disappointed young man right now, having to climb out of that race car after a real great run from the back up in the front.
Well, there is Johnny Parsons in car number 20, and he goes by Steve Butler. So Parsons, who had to go to the back of the pack after well, he didn't get by him after all. Now Butler hangs on, but here's Parsons on the high side now as they come off the second corner. Remember, Johnny Parsons made a pit stop under yellow, then had to go to the back of the pack, and he went back towards the front.
Look how much horsepower the V8 has over the V6 going down that back straightaway. Really pulled it going down that back straightaway, but the V6s are lighter, and they get through the corners much better.
Butler was 6th. Parsons 7th. As we go back to the front of the pack, there is Mike Bliss, and Mike Bliss continues to show the way down the back stretch. Let's go down and check in and see what the problem was with Gary Heber. Dave?
Gary Heber, great run, comes to an early end. What was the problem?
Something must happen to the right rear suspension. It started bottoming out in the corner real bad, so it just starts skating across the track. Shame we had a good run coming for it. The right rear tire shook real bad for probably about 40 laps there, and you know, I don't know if something happened with that or what, but it just starts skating in the middle of the corner and bottoming out.
Tell me about the tire wear that you were experiencing. Was your tire holding up okay prior to the suspension problem?
I think the tire was good. For some reason, we either lost the weight off it or what, but like I said, it just shook so bad there for a while, and then it just started bottoming out. I almost thought the tire was going down, but it's not, so something must happen to the suspension.
Gary Heber sideline, back to Gary and Larry.
Back up in front, we've got a swap of positions.
We sure do. That's the two V6 cars. That's Hewitt, who's already around Randy Tolsma, and that's Jim Keeker, who just moved into the inside of Randy Tolsma. That's for 4th position. Hewitt's in 3rd. Tolsma now is 4th. Oh, boy, he got pinched down right there. Keeker couldn't. Yeah, he got in under that lap.
Tolsma goes back to 5th. That's Ralph Liguri. They're going by Tolsma in the Spies Hecker entry. Spies Hecker is a German auto finish. Sponsoring cars now here in this country. Both those cars have gotten by Randy Tolsma.
Sound like a spy show to me.
Spy movie, yeah. Well, Hewitt now is 3rd. Keeker is 4th.
And they have moved up a long, long way from the back. They took their time. They weeded their way through one by one. They didn't really make any fast advances, but slowly but surely they've moved to the front of the pack. Meanwhile, Johnny Parsons, a little farther back, I think, is already up to 6th or 7th position.
We got 3 V6s in the top 6 positions. Well, Tony Stewart apparently has called it a day, and he's standing alongside Dave Despain.
Tony Stewart, what was the problem?
I think we had a Mac quit on us.
Obviously, this is the first of 2 races you're going to run today. Tomorrow, folks on ESPN will see in the midget division. You're going to be able to win that one to make up for this one?
I hope so. We qualified 4th with the Crystal Pepsi midget, and it's running real good. You know, it sounded real crisp this morning in the warm-up session, so I think we're going to do real well.
All right, back to the Silver Crown action without Tony Stewart, who had an ignition problem.
While you are looking at the man that set the fast time with a track record, the Valvoline number 6 is falling off the pace. He is now back to, what, 4th position.
See how he's sideways? The right rear on that car is going away. He's lost 2 spots. Randy Toles was going to get around him here pretty shortly. The right rear is completely gone on that race car.
So that means that Jack Hewitt is up to 2nd. Keeker is now 3rd. Hewitt in a Ford. When was the last time a Ford won a Silver Crown race? We've got to check our stats on this. It could happen here at Milwaukee. Remember, senior PGA golf from New York will follow us, but right now we have the final 19 laps from the Milwaukee Mile here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mike Bliss with almost a half-lap lead right now as we look down an empty front straightaway as we give you the interval between 1st and 2nd. Hewitt is now in 2nd, and there is the distance between 1st and 2nd, 14.1 seconds. Indeed, a half lap. Now remember, Hewitt has won 14 times in Silver Crown competition, more than anyone else, but he has a long way to go to win this one.
And Jim Keeker just went around him for 2nd position right there. Keeker, he pushed the front end a little bit right in the middle of the corner. Keeker just turned left, went right on around him. You won't like that. He'll go right back after him, I guarantee it.
Yeah, we talked about team orders, but I don't believe any team orders with this one.
No way. And I'll tell you what, this is a great race. Every place on the racetrack except for the lead, and Mike Bliss is just annihilating the field at this point of the race.
Well, it looks like Mike Bliss is well on his way to his 3rd Silver Crown win of the season. Now, as he himself works on lap 84, he has a half-lap advantage. There are no car radios in these. There are hand signals along the pit wall, so right now he has to know he has a sizable margin.
And it looks like Jim Keeker is really running much, much better. Here we see Bliss. He's trying to get around Tony Elliott. That's a lap car working under him. That's the only thing that can get him in trouble now if he gets tied up with somebody in lap traffic or there's some sort of a car failure.
Well, of course, with his large margin, he can really take his time and tippy-toe through traffic if he has to.
Well, as you said, there's no radios in these cars. It's not like the Indy cars where they can tell you exactly what's going on. So I'm not sure he knows how big his lead is. There's signboards down here on the inside. You can see some of the guys holding out chalkboards and giving arm motions, but that's about the only thing he has to go by. He's really working the steering wheel hard in there. It doesn't look like that thing's as easy to drive as he's has made it appear by pulling out in front. He's sawing the wheel pretty hard.
Well, that's one of those beast chassis that they have found so much success with. He's hooked up with Del McClure, and it's been a great marriage for these two, the car and the driver. Ralph Ligori, we understand, is slowing down the racetrack. There is the veteran from Tampa, Florida. And Ralphie, who has not started a Silver Crown race in some 20 years, pulls behind the pit wall. But I tell you what, I've got to believe there's going to be a smile on that man's face when the race is over.
Right. You see Perry Farrell also just pulled into the pit area, so he's having trouble too. But Bliss really just has things all his own way.
There's a look at Eric Gordon. He's back there with Markham in the black number 40, who's driving his first pavement race ever. And that's Johnny Parsons in the white number 20.
That's Parsons, who's battling
yellow,
with Gordon.
The yellow 20.
Yellow number 20, and he's battling with Eric Gordon. He could move into 5th place, what? 6th place, I suggest, if he gets around Eric Gordon.
That'd be 5th place. Gordon right now is 5th. Parsons is 6th. But just remember, Parsons had to do this from the back of the pack because they chose the wrong compound. He made a tire change early under a yellow. Went to the back of the pack. He does go by now for 5th position. Parsons moves up, and Gordon with the tire problem slides back.
Right now, we don't know there's a tire problem. That's just my guess. If it's not a tire problem, I apologize to those guys. But it looks to me like that's the only thing that can make that car get that loose that quick. And but I tell you, they all had on the same tire. It must have just been the setup if that does happen to be a problem.
Well, there's a look once again at Mike Bliss. And this is the time in the racetrack when the car starts to talk to you. As a driver, you hear every little sound that car makes. Let's go trackside. Here's the guy that's found so much success with the V6s, Glenn Nibel, standing by with Dave Despain.
Well, if you take Mike Bliss out of this, Glenn Knight will be a pretty happy guy. Glenn, 2nd and 3rd, no team orders here, right?
Yeah, a Ford and a Chevrolet, and they're looking pretty good right now.
You're happy with the way things are going. What's the future for the Ford V6 program? Is that thing going to be a winner? Can it dominate in this division?
Looking better every minute.
When these two guys go out to play like this, what do you tell them? What's your last instruction to Keeker and Hewitt?
Just get out there, try to make sure you've got enough laps for the last 25 laps.
Take Mike Bliss out, as we said, and Glenn Nibel gave him perfect instructions today. They run 2-3.
There's a look at Keeker right there. He has won in Silver Crown competition before.
I got to tell you, when I ran that race up here for him in 1990, and I went to dead last place in about 10 laps, Glenn's standing on the wall with his arms closed, and I'm thinking, I might as well pull in. I can't run this thing. But I knew if I was going to pull in, he's going to beat knots on my head. So I decided, heck with this. I'll stay out here and let him beat knots on my head later.
Well, your leader is about to lap your defending Silver Crown titleist. Butler is about to go a lap down. And right now, that's 6th place being lapped. And there is a battle not only for, well, position on the racetrack, but also for points, because Butler comes in leading the points. He had a 28-point lead over Schumann and Bliss. Schumann's out of the race, so Bliss obviously will take the points lead after today.
Well, Bliss is going to take the points lead if he finishes the race, but right now it's looking pretty good.
Pulls up behind Steele. Steele out of Tampa, Florida, in the aluminum quick load boats car, number 88. This is his first ride. Oh, a dangerous move as he tucks to the inside, in behind Gordon.
That was Chuck Gurney in that red car we saw move to the inside down there. He's got some sort of problem too.
Well, now there's a look at 5th place. Gordon about to be lapped by your leader, Mike Bliss. Only 5 cars remain on the lead lap. Bliss gingerly to the inside, comes off, makes the pass textbook style. Completes lap 93, 7 laps to go. Don't forget, the PGA Seniors Golf from Jericho, New York, coming up immediately following this USAC True Value Silver Crown race from the famed Milwaukee Mile. It's all part of the big Badger World Classic this weekend. They're featuring 4 different features here today. And right now we have the pleasure of being live on the air with a special afternoon edition of the Thunder from Milwaukee. And there's a look at a battle for position, 6th and 7th. 6th is Gordon, 7th is Butler.
Yeah, that's Butler trying to get around Eric Gordon right there for 6th and 7th. I tell you, this race has really been a battle all up and down the field, except for Mike Bliss, who literally after the first 40 laps, 50 laps, just ran away with it. And there goes Butler right on the inside.
I tell you what, a race fan has to love the kind of competition we have had here today.
Yeah, this is really a beautiful, beautiful racetrack for racing. You can run inside, you can run outside. It really amazes me. I don't think I've ever seen a flat track that was this good a competition for any kind of race car, really, whether it be the Arco stock cars that they're going to run on later here today, the midgets, or the dirt cars.
I'd like to see about 2 of these Silver Crown races every year here at the Milwaukee Mile. Well, of course, the big tracks they run on, including Phoenix, which is a mile, Milwaukee's a mile, and Raceway Park, we televise that from Indianapolis. That is about 7/10 of a mile around the high side. Mike Bliss in his own zone right there. There's a look at the number 73 car just being lapped. That is Larry Dixon. Now he goes by Greg Staub in the 44 car.
Yeah, Bliss just really has that thing wired. I don't think, you know, it was no accident that he won 2 pavement races already this year. He's going to label himself as the pavement master. No questions asked after this race.
Well, now we'll see if he can actually hang on to the points lead. He's going to get the points lead here, but the rest of this season will be contested on dirt. He's not necessarily a dirt driver.
Look at this. They're telling him, slow down. Take it easy. You don't have far to go, boy. We don't want to lose this thing now.
Yeah, a little less than 3 laps, and he'll take the checkered flag here from Milwaukee. Now, once again, remember, Seniors Golf coming up immediately following this 100-lap event.
You know, it's really hard, though. Everybody wants him to slow down, but when you get in a rhythm out there, if you try to actually slow down, it gets you out of your rhythm and gets you all fouled up on the racetrack. It's much easier to go at the speed you've been going than it is to try to slow down. And, you know, it's hard sometimes. He has lapped every car in the race out to 4th place at this point. That's pretty amazing. I've never seen a runaway like this here at Milwaukee.
2 laps to go for Mike Bliss out of Milwaukee, Oregon. He said earlier that he had a monkey on his back because he couldn't win unless his wife was there. Well, his wife is here this weekend, and she'll be savoring the victory along with Mom and Dad. His uncle drove up from Chicago to be here this weekend. And he is looking at the white flag being displayed. 1 lap to go for Mike Bliss. He moved back to Indianapolis this racing season to devote his time. And I tell you what, he's won a midget, a sprint, a Silver Crown car at Raceway Park. Never before in one season has a driver done that. And now this will be his 3rd Silver Crown win this season.
Well, he's certainly done a magnificent job. It's paid off for him. It was quite a gamble, really, for him to quit his job, come back and do this, but it's paid off right now. He's got those 2 DuPont yellow cars behind him, but he's way out front right now.
And there is the Twin checkered flags for Mike Bliss. Let's go trackside Dave Despain.
Well, we got here in a hurry, and we got to get out of here in a hurry because it is time for golf on ESPN. It was a Bliss. Maybe you'll get to hear from him tomorrow afternoon at the Midget Show here on ESPN. For Gary and Larry, I'm Dave Despain. Congratulations, Mike Bliss. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern Time.